Good evening, brothers and sisters, lovers, haters, boys, girls and vibrations. How is everybody? I hope everybody's well on this wonderful Wednesday. Very grateful individual today. Woke up feeling mint. Grateful at the magnitude of the press conference that I attended yesterday. Grateful that Mike Perry knew who I was. Mike Perry made a beeline for me, come over to me. It's like, hey man, you can fight. Put his hand out and that. I was like, come by. I nearly said, who are you? Haha, just for the crack. But nah, massive Mike Perry fan. Buzzing that he knew who I was. Had a big crack and a couple of pictures with him. Nice fella. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to be back an MVP with him being a fellow Brit. But very grateful. Very, very grateful individual today. Very grateful that I can go on YouTube and see people clickbaiting the ring piece out of my name and think, ha, me, using my name for views, feel free, because it makes me throb. You know what I'm saying? Right. I wanted to share a bit of knowledge with you. Now, there's a lot of, shall we say, topics, subjects, various topics and subjects, shall we say, and niche sorts of things, and a whole spectrum of things that I know nothing about. I know nothing about them. I have an educational, deficit in so many areas. I just simply don't know. You get me? I do not know. But when it comes to boxing, I do know what I'm talking about. Now, if I could only do with my body through body dynamics and basic motor functions from brain to body, if I could only do what I know, I'd be like a world champion. All the knowledge is there. It's there. I've studied boxing since I was 11 years old. I love it, right? Now, there's people out there, no names, there's people out there, right, who, they're trying to fool, the little flock of followers or, the YouTube community in general. What they're trying to do is they're trying to fool them. There's an old saying by Abraham Lincoln, a quote, maybe you've heard it. You can fool all the people sometimes. You can fool some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Yeah? All of the people sometimes, some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, right? Now, there's many different fans. There's many different boxing fans, fight fans. There's a whole range of them that go from your armchair experts to the common fan, who might have some, mediocre, maybe to moderate knowledge on fighting, boxing, combat. Then you've got your educated fan, your experts, yeah? Well, I like to put myself in the latter bracket because I know my shit, right? Now, let us tell you something now about boxers or fighters, boxers. I'm talking about boxing here. There is a bracket of boxers that are called fighters. There's fighters and boxers. Boxing and fighting in a boxing ring are two very different things. Now, let's get down to business. Are you listening? Let's just say, how can we put this? How can we put it? Let's just say you, as a person, are a fighter, yeah? And you've fought a certain way all your life. Let's just say this then, all you've done for your entire career is arm shots. It's all you've done. It's all you've ever seen to be doing. It's all you can do, yeah? You've never moved your head a day in its life, yeah? You've just never moved it. You've never employed pivots, yeah? You've never turned into a punch in your life. Let's just say you've never done that. Let's just say you've fought a certain way all your life, and that way consists of arm shots, yeah? No rotation, arm shots. You know, plodding forward, yeah? Very rigid, very robotic, very robust in fighting style, yeah? Because there's a lot of them out there. Let's just say you are one of those people, yeah? Arm shots, plodding forward, no head movement. And let's say you've done that for the entirety of your boxing career. And let's say you've had some reasonable success doing that against people who could not box, yeah? You've had reasonable success doing that because you've always been matched with fighters, not boxers, yeah? Now, you might have had a reasonable bit of success doing that. And guess what? If you're 40 years of age and you're still fighting or still pretending to fight or still having your hand in fighting or whatever, guess what? Guess what? That is what you are always going to do. You'll always revert to type, especially when you're 40 years old. Now listen, if you cannot, at 40 years old, transfer the weight from leg to leg through that, one of the first things we were taught at the boxing club, the coach used to put, Jimmy Whitfield used to put Elvis on, and we used to have to do this. Get in a boxing position, and you go that way, that way. No punches, you're just transferring the weight. What you're doing is you're transferring the weight. 75% of my body weight is on that leg. That leg's just for balancing, there's no weight on it, it's just there to prop us up. Yeah, I come back. 75% of the weight is now on that leg. This one's just holding us up. And you go like that. Yeah? Yeah? Practice that for weeks upon months. And it always incorporated into our style. Why? Because that's your rotational movement. That is you transferring weight from hip to hip. Like that. Bang, when you punch and bang! Bang! Yeah? Transferring the weight. Now, if you've never been taught to do that when you're learning boxing, and you've never done it throughout your whole boxing career, the chances of you incorporating that into your game at 40 years old are zero. Zero. Cerebrally, you cannot do it. It's very much like trying to learn a new language. You might be able to, say, oh, this word means this, and this word means this, and this word means this. Good luck in trying to put them into an understandable format, or a sequence of words that make a sentence and get somebody from that nation to try and understand it. Good luck with that at 40 years old, because your body just simply will not let you do it. Your brain won't let you do it. It hasn't got the capacity to do it. It's hard to get it, liken it to, kind of likening it to learn the language. I'll liken it to this. Your teeth are sharp enough and your jaw is strong enough to bite off your own tongue. Well strong enough, but your brain won't let you do it, right? It just won't let you do it. So you might be looking at somebody who can rotate the hip and load up on punches and put proper twist and proper pivots into punches. You might be looking at that and you might know how it's done because you can see how it's done, or you can read how it's done, or you can look at a visual example and see how it's done. Then go in front of a mirror and try and do it. Because if you've never been taught these things in boxing, yeah, like that, you've never been taught them, you're never going to bring them into your game at 40-year-old, yeah? This is what the educated fan knows. The educated fan is not so easily fooled because they know what they're talking about, yeah? You cannot become a different style of fighter when you're 40 years old. Why? Because it's hardwired. What you've always done is hardwired. You can't change your style. That's why everybody has a style. Not many people have 2, 3 styles. It doesn't happen. Some people can adapt on the spin. You look at Terence Crawford, he can adapt like that. But he's got a style, yeah? A boxer puncher. He has a style. Fighters, plodders, arm shot, divvies, they have a style. Look back, it's what they've always done. The evidence is there. They've always done it. Repeatedly, that's what they've always done. So guess what? They'll always revert to type. They don't get any better. What they might be able to do is get better at what they're already good at and tweak things. Just tweak things a little bit. That's possible. But bringing a new style in, if you're some plodder headless knee-head movement, plodder, you've done that all your life. Do you really think that you can become a fighter with rotation who turns into punches? It cannot be done. Ask any great trainer out there, ask anybody who knows what they're talking about. Go and Google it, look on YouTube, listen to some of the greats, go and listen to Teddy Atlas. He'll tell you, it can't be done. Look at George Foreman, man. George Foreman is a legend, a freak of nature. Now, he didn't get any better when he got older. He didn't incorporate new things into his style and become a completely different fighter. No. Why? Because his style was hardwired, and you cannot eradicate what you've always done. It's what you know. It's hardwired in your very being. You cannot. It's body dynamics. You can't learn them at 40 years old. You can't learn body dynamics. The motor functions, the cerebral capacity will not let you do it. It's impossible. Okay? George Foreman developed a delivery system. He developed a delivery system and he shortened the right hand. George Foreman was always quite a winging puncher with straight arms, very powerful, very strong. But what he done was, he shortened his punches, he made them shorter. He never tried to do something he could never do. He adapted what he already had and he made a perfect delivery system for the right hand. He used to throw stiff jabs, short jabs, feint jabs, always looking for the short right hand on the chin, and he nailed it and he won a world title, so fair play to him. But there's not many George Foremans out there. Look at me, I know what I've done. All my life I've boxed, footwork, long shots, trying to sit down when I can on punches, yeah? I couldn't just change my style and become a forward, aggressive banger. It'd be impossible, because my style is hardwired. It's what I've always done, yeah? Now, we'll finish on a little tutorial, 12 minutes. I'm excited tonight. I can't wait to get into training. Whoa, just had a warm-up, that's all I've done. Right. Twisting and maximising punch power, yeah? Listen, if you're going to turn into a right hand, you're pushing with this shoulder, aren't you? You're pushing through, yeah? But what a lot of people don't know is, imagine there's an invisible line right down the middle of your torso, right down your anatomy, right down the middle. So you're putting the right hand over, yeah? You're loading with that side, you're twisting through with that side. What a lot of people don't realise is, to get better rotation and to maximise power, the left side needs to do the opposite. So this shoulder's actually pulling back, yeah? So that's going forward, this is pulling back. This is an exaggerated version, but this is it. This is the dynamic right here, yeah? That's your right hand. This shoulder, that one goes forward. This one pulls back. You're not just pushing in boxing all the time, you're pulling as well, yeah? This is exaggerated, but you put the right hand on, right hand goes through, this left shoulder comes back, you're pushing and pulling at the same time, like that. That's your rotation. That is rotation, yeah? Simple as that. So, you know, some people, you know, the common fan, big shout out to the common fan, you know, they're just, you know, people love fighting, they love to watch you fight. It doesn't matter what they're watching, they just love to watch you fight. It's very exciting, it's very primal. There's something unbelievably gladiatorial about two people fighting. Because I love watching fighting, I could watch it all day. It's what takes up most of my time when I'm on YouTube. You know, when I'm on YouTube, yeah? I'm going home to watch a couple of fights tonight on George Foreman because I'm intrigued. But, that's today's lesson. Rotation. And don't be fooling people, okay? It's all right telling something to some people and expecting them to be fooled. You can't fool all of us. You cannot fool all of us. And it's all right when you're knocking 5'10" divvies about and dumping them all over the place. That's all fair and well. That's all fair and well. Anybody can look good doing that. Anybody can look good against a divvy. Yeah, simple as that. Thanks for listening, people. Come by. Bang. Feeling good, people. Have a wonderful Wednesday night. Big love to everybody. Mwah.